So, all right, everyone. So today we're going to be creating our web application on EC2 with these AWS services. So the intention is that we are going to be able to integrate Route53 with Cloudfront and with Elastic load balancing and with AutoScaling service to our web servers. So this is comprised of so many things of like reliability, resiliency, and availability. So we are going to start with the auto-scaling of our system, creating our EC2 and the ability to auto-scale it, then attach the AutoScale service with elastic load balancing and provide this service across the globe using Cloudfront. Then, of course, our Route53 is for registering our domain and making our custom domain unique, whereby the users in the outside world will be able to reach our website. So let's get started. The first thing for us is to, of course, go into our, what's it called, to AWS. We are going to first create an S3 bucket where we are going to migrate our source code. So let's do this. So you can just go to start groups, start bootstrap.com to be able to get some templates for your website. That's where I got the template downloaded from. So you can get some nice creative templates here. So let's continue to our work. Let's show. Okay, these are some nice templates that you can use for your website. So let's add those elements. Here. So after that, we need to create some roles in our IAM service. Roles in IAM service enables services and resources in Amazon, in AWS to be able to communicate with one another. So we are creating roles for EC2 instance to be able to talk to what's it called, S3 buckets, be able to copy, read, and write, you understand? And also we create a role for session manager. With session manager, you don't need to you can easily administer your Linux instance on AWS without having to do a remote connection with SSH from your laptop. So let's create roles. So it creates for this. It's one for this. So allow EC2 instance to call service on next permission. So S3. So we are choosing this. Choosing this Amazon SSM managed instance call. So we're choosing those two. Name S3 SSL. I just leave it as S3 and SSL. And use spacebar. So we have these two rows created. So the next thing for us to do is to create our EC2 instance. Don't forget that we want to create an EC2 instance in such a way that we can use auto scaling for it. And so let's just go to services, EC2, create an EC2 instance for our website. So what we'll do is just launch. Yes, let's launch. Let's launch an EC2 instance and select this, the Amazon Linux. So we'll be working under the with the free tier T2 micro EC2. So next thing is to go. We are not requesting. We are using default VPC subnet. Let's use the one of let's use this subnet, which is US East A. Then we can auto assignment. We want public IP address. I think for now, let's enable for now. I'll always go back and disable. Okay. What else? Now the ham rule, we need this to be the S3 and SSN IAM rule that we created. So shutdown behavior stop. Okay. Any other thing we need to do? No, for now. So here we would add our script to the user data. What this will enable us that some of the things we want to do on the Linux, we can script them right away, such that as the Linux is launching, it would what's it called? It will just automatically launch the run the command without us having to sign in or sign into the Linux and run those commands ourselves. I have the script here that I want to run. So what I will do now is just to copy these commands. These commands will update the Linux. It will also install the Apache service and the MariaDB and lamping it. We start the service, enable it, and so it will also copy our file from the S3 bucket to the HTML directory on the Linux. So what we'll do is to just change the the name of the S3 bucket here to the one we created earlier. So let me just go to S3 and copy the name. Let me duplicate this so that I have this S3. Let's go to our S3 bucket. So here we'll just copy the name here. Control C and paste here. Control V. So copy all this command, including the initial command, and just paste it here. So this should be able to run our command seamlessly. So let's go further. As storage, we have it as 8 gig. The EBS storage general, we are using the general purpose SSD. We are under the using the free tier. So are we using tag? let's add tab name web server. So let's go to security group. Under this security group, I would like to, so we want to open the SSH port for us to be able to launch, to be able to reach our Linux remotely. We'll do my IP. This IP is dynamic. That means I don't have a static IP, public static IP. So it changes over time. And if this change, I won't be able to reach my Linux server. So I'll just use anywhere. But ideally, it's meant to be my IP. You don't open your SSH ports to the world. So I'll add another role, which is HTTP ports. This would be anywhere, and another rule for HTTPS ports. HTTPS ports. This also will be anywhere. Let's launch. We have this done for us. So we need a key pair. I have this key pair on my server, on my Windows 10 already. So you might create another one, but I want to use this. So let me just launch. So we are launching. Yeah. So now we've launched our first EC2 instance web server. So what we are waiting for is that this instance state should be check 2, and it has to be LD before we can have it running. So let's just wait for this to get started. The status check rather. So while this is loading, okay, let it finish loading, because the next thing we want to do is to create an AMI image for our web server. Creating an AMI image ensures that everything that's been configured under this web server is created as an image, so that when we are trying to create other Linux web server that with the same content, we won't have to be doing it over and over again. It will just be like a template for them to be able to use. So and also this AMI image is what we'll use for our auto-scaling system. Still initializing. Let me check. Let's check this first. Now, can you see? We have our website created automatically because of the script that we ran at launch. So we have this website created. Wow. So so we have our website running. The next thing here is to come to AMI. Where are you? AMI. Come to AMI. Then we create another. No. Okay. First, let's go back to EC2. So come to this, then action. Then here you create image. Create image web server. So auto scaling. This is what for instance, auto scaling means that when you have like an high peak traffic on your system and your web server has reached some particular threshold that will define, auto scaling would ensure that we have the replication of that server, maybe 2, 3, or 4 at those moments, and it can also scale down when those moments are not are no longer being used. So we've just done that. What we just do now is just create, let's create the image. So now we have, when you come here, EMI, so we have this being created pending. So as this is running, so let's try and so after this finish running, the next thing for us to do, now we've created, well, if we go back to our, so we've created a EC2 web server. With this auto scaling, should be able to replicate to give us more than one EC2 instance when it didn't fit. So we've done this. So we are also we're about setting up our auto scaling service. So yeah, we come to, I think this should have been right. So it's still pending. Now we have our web server created, and the image has been successfully created. Yeah. So the next thing we want to do is to create a load balancer. Let's create load balancer here. Create load balancer. We are creating the application load balancer for our web application. So load balancer will create web 23. Let's just give it that name, unique name. Then we select our availability zone. The initial place where we have our availability zone is US East 1C, and let's have US East 1B added to it, making 2 availability zones. So we want to create let's create a new security group for our ELB, which is elastic load balancing. So yeah, we call it ELB for AutoScale. Then allow HTTP. Let's allow only HTTP for now. Inbound through would be for HTTP service. Then on port 80, then it will be all around the world, anywhere IPv4. And you can also add HTTP anywhere IPv6, anywhere IPv6. That's for inbound. So our outbound rule, we are going to create this in such a way that is going to let's add another rule. It will be HTTP traffic, only HTTP traffic from. So here we are going to select the security group that we created for our EC2 instance, which is that one. That's because when traffic is going out to our issue, going to our EC2 instance and check for the HTTP traffic. Let's create group. I don't need tag for now. Okay, let's remove this. Okay. So let's now go back here. So we have EBL for auto scaling. So you can just remove this default security group. We have it as port, listener should be on port 80, and our target group Our target group here should be, let's create a target group. Let's create a target group. So we have instances as our target group. Also, no, let's leave it as target instance, target auto instance. Okay, port 80. Select the VPC. That's the only VPC we have. Then let's use version 1 for now. So on this edge check, we have it as HTTP for now. So this part is just for the home page. You can also as well create like a consistent page for your edge check. You know, with your developers, you can come up with a page and just insert the URL here where the ELB will consistently check. So here we have, let's tag it as name. So it's great. So here we are not choosing this. So let's select. Let's run first without creating a target. So these are targets on. This is our first server. You can just select this first, then put up pending below. Create targets. So we have this running. Now, the next thing for us is to go back and select this. So another thing is to have tag name. So scale server. Then let's create this. Created our load balancer. Let's view our load balancer. So these are load balancer and it's provisioning. So let's restart provisioning. So we can go to our target group and see what we just created then, which is this. So the next thing we want to do is to create a launch configuration for our auto scaling service. So let's take it as web scale 2. So we are going to choose the AMI image that we created earlier. Then choose the instance type. It should be T2 micro. That's the free tier EC2 instance that we have access to for now. It's large, no, micro. Yeah, thank you. Choose. Then the next thing is to also select an existing security group. So we are selecting this security group that we created for our first server. So for our first server, we should always share the same security policy that we want. So we have an existing keep here. Choose an existing keep here. Let's launch. So now we've created this. Now let's create the auto scaling group. So under this, let's create auto scaling group. Let's name it auto scale web. So let's switch to launch configuration. Then we select the launch configuration that we just set there. So here we have how many availability zones we have, C and B. That's the two availability zones that we want is to create our. Then let's next. we have an already we have an existing load balancer that we've created. Then we have to select this, which is the target auto instances. The head check for the EC2 is to check whether our EC2 is LD, whether it has been terminated or one has, is not working well and all that. If any of the if anything is wrong with our EC2, it's going to be able to generate or create new ones. So here, desired capacity that we want is 2. We always want 2 EC2 instances to be running at all times, whether there is when on normal circumstances, when there is no spike or there is no high traffic on our web servers, the minimum can be 1 and the maximum should be like 4. So when we have our peak traffic, the maximum we want to create is 4, not more than that. I want to create a target scaling policy such that we have a threshold of 70 CPU utilization, 70%. So if our CPU utilization exceeds 70, then auto-scaling service should create more EC2 for us, for our web servers. And if the CPU utilization is below 70, then we can always scale in without incurring additional cost. So we want to add notification, which is the SNS service. So the service, we can create a topic, but we already have one already in our service. Just create a topic and insert your email address. When you insert your email address, you have to confirm it before the service starts working and giving you notification. So next, we are going to add tag name, then web scale, auto web scale, auto web scale. This is going to ensure that when any of the EC2 has been created as a result of auto scaling, it's going to tag them with this name, and we are going to know that this particular EC2 has been created as a result of auto scaling. So let's finish. So one more thing we need to do when we go to our EC2 instance, we note that this EC2 EBL is our security group, and we want a situation whereby every traffic the only traffic we want is the one coming from our elastic load balancer. So we are going to edit this security group here. So let's go to security group. Go to security group. Then for this, we are going to edit inbound row. Let's let's delete this to rows, and let's add new role for HTTP. For HTTP traffic, let it be from EBL for auto scaling. So that's the security group for elastic load balancing. That's what we are calling here. So let's, for HTTPS, if there's any traffic from HTTPS, let it also be from there. So EPS. Okay. So let's create our group. So under our groups, we have this. Let's not forget to name this. Let's name this EBL auto scaling. Save. So by now we should have like additional EC2 instance created. We should have, okay. Okay. So we have additional EC2 instances created for us. You can see 2 more additional has been created for us. So the next thing I think we need to do is to access our EC2 instance, our web server using the load balancing DNS address given to us. So copy this, Control C. Voila. So we have our instance EC2 working. So the other way we can also confirm that this is working, that our EC2, our traffic is being balanced. One is to edit go into this. So let's go to session manager. With session manager, we can be able to edit and these instances and just modify them so that we can know which instance we are payload balanced to. So let's go to system manager. Under system manager, we have the session manager that we can run our command. So we have we have these two AutoScaling. Okay. So let's just do let's go to our page. So I want to insert here indicate that this is site one or no this is server one and server two. So let's come here. Struct. So yeah, let me just edit. Let me limit. So Control X, Control X, and Y. Escape. So let's check. There's that. So you can see this is web server one. Second one that we didn't edit, which is the web server, is this web server one. Yeah. The thing for us is to create a Cloudfront service so that we can be able to distribute our content globally using the Edge locator. With that, So we have our website working. You can see, let's see, AWS, no, HTTPS waleoyenuga.com. Okay, this is working. So we have www.waleoyenuga.com. Is another website that we hosted. So making two websites. This particular website was hosted on S3 buckets, while this one was hosted on the EC2 server. Yeah, thank you.